Welcome along, Jacob Duffy. Good to have you here, mate. You're enjoying a bit of Dunedin weather at the moment, I understand.
Yeah, for sure. We're still lucky enough to be outside and bowling in outdoor conditions at the moment, so it can't be too bad. But it's good to a couple weeks of winter and then I get to escape it, so can't complain too much.
Now you won't be aware of this, mate. You're probably not aware of this, but we've actually got quite a bit in common. We both started our cricket careers in Lumsden. But in fact, actually, that's where things stop. You've obviously kicked on a bit more in the cricket game than I did. But I'm really interested to know what your earliest memories of cricket are.
Yeah, it's probably more my brothers, because I've got a couple older brothers, and they played a lot of cricket. And obviously from Lumsden, there's not a lot of competition around, so you always had to go to Gore and Otago. So I just remember road tripping with mum to go watch them play. And then as our plan, sort of her throwing me balls or me throwing balls around and padding up and my brother's gear and stuff like that. So it's more about that stuff and just spending days at cricket and packed lunches and things like that. Yeah.
So being the youngest, you must have been on the receiving end a bit, were you?
Yeah. So my oldest brother Matt was always the bowler. My middle brother Ryan was always the batter, and then I was the fielder / wicket keeper. So I never really got much of a go, which actually suited me all right because they were big and scary, so it didn't worry me too much.
Yeah, it obviously hasn't. It hasn't done you any harm. That's for sure.
No, for sure. And I guess playing a lot with Ryan was and his friends and stuff. Sort of you're playing above your grades, even if it's backyard cricket. Like I was doing it for fun. I was never thinking about it or anything, but like you're actually playing that higher skill level and with older kids and things. But like it actually subconsciously does a lot for your game, I think. So yeah, that's always like pushing the boundaries and things like that, even if it's in the backyard, I think it's helped me a lot.
Was there a point, I'm imagining a point where, you get to a stage where the brothers have to just go, actually, the young fella's not too bad here. In fact, he's going to be right up there. Do you remember that?
No, I still don't think that's happened. Obviously, Ryan was a pretty successful cricketer himself, and he has played first class cricket and things like that. I guess I played for Otago before him, and I guess that was pretty cool. He's seen me do it on the domestic stage, and then I guess he came to my international debut at Eden Park, and he actually got pretty emotional, and just said some nice things there. And I guess that was a pretty cool moment to say, like, I've done it. Like one of us has done it. So yeah, no, that was a pretty cool moment.
Was it what was it like getting a wee bit of emotion out of Ryan?
Well, yeah, he's a tough Southland bloke and doesn't say a lot, but he had a few beers in him, so he yeah, maybe it was the alcohol talk, I don't know, but no, it's pretty cool, mate. I had my whole family there, my partner, and yeah, there's a bit of emotion around, and it's pretty cool just to see how proud and happy they were that I got there and I didn't stuff it up when I was there too.
Absolutely, and keen to talk a little bit more about that later. I guess coming from very much country cricket and then coming into town playing for Boys High, there'll be some people that had a real impact, I guess, in helping you get you through to Otago and further.
Yeah, for sure. I guess growing up at Boys High, Craig Smith was always there. He's an old teacher of mine, and he was kind of the first guy from the Otago Vaults that I'd really connected with, to be honest. I guess in Southland, you only really see them once or twice a year, and you don't really think of it as an option, I guess. So I never really even thought of cricket as a career or anything like that. I guess I see them once a year and think like they're obviously really cool and I'd love to do it, but it just wasn't realistic. And then I saw a guy and played with a guy because he played for us at Boys High. And he was, in and out of that vault setup, and I was like, wow, he's actually there and he's doing it, and it kind of became real. Spending some time with him, and then I got to debut for Otago with him, and yes, that was pretty cool. And then Mark Bracewell, actually from Otago cricket, so he's sort of helped me in and out of through age group cricket. He's based up here in Dunedin, and he'd make trips down all the time. He must have covered that road hundreds of times a year, and so he's pretty instrumental in sort of helping me get to where I am, I guess.
Yeah, because I remember my time covering cricket Southland cricket, Otago cricket, and there'd been quite the drought, really. There was a sort of a long time between drinks in terms of Southlanders being able to get up into that Otago setup. I remember talking to Glenn Turner about it when he was Otago cricket coach and sort of asking, what's it going to take and that sort of thing. You must feel very proud that you've been one of the players who's been able to sort of get that pathway open again.
Yeah, for sure. I actually talked to Nick Turner. I don't know if you remember him. He's a Southland guy that played a few years back, and as soon as I made my debut, he reached out, and it was just like, it's awesome what you're doing. Proud of Southland and all this stuff. And I didn't really connect. I was just doing what I was doing. But then the amount of people that come out of the woodwork and like reach out to you, and especially make that Southland connection is quite cool. It happened again when I debuted, and people down here are really proud and like to see their own doing well, and especially on the international stage. So yeah, no, it's a pretty special place to come from, I guess.
And you're a humble bloke. You're a member of Academy Southland for a couple of years, and I think a mutual friend of ours, Logan Savory, might have helped to sort of ease the pathway there. Jason McKenzie was pretty keen for me to ask you some questions around, what your initial thoughts were with the Academy. I think you might have felt like, maybe it was not necessarily that, maybe you weren't good enough at that stage to be thought of in that sort of company. What was it like, I guess, being included in the Academy, and what did you get from those couple of years?
Yeah, you did right, mate. So I remember Savage put me up for that program. I didn't really know what it was about. And then I thought, there's all this free stuff comes along with it and all this health and whatnot. So I agreed to go along with it, and then sort of get in the room and you're with all these aspiring Olympians and people who represented New Zealand and all this sort of carry on. And here I was, just a cricketer. I'm not even sure what I'd done at that stage. I think the first time it came real for me a little bit was when I got named in the New Zealand 19s team to go to a World Cup. And I guess that was a little bit of an aspiration of mine, but I still had no idea if I was close or not. That was always like, when you do your goals planning and setting and stuff like that, that was always my dream back then. But still, it was just a dream, whereas these people were actually competing at the national and international stage. And I just didn't really feel like I'd lived up to that sort of standard. So to actually make it there kind of felt quite nice, because I did get to that World Cup, and then sort of felt a little bit more like I belonged in that group.
Absolutely. And we all know, cricket can be such a brutal game. You'll probably fail more than you succeed, won't you? I guess there'll be aspects of the Academy, I'm thinking particularly that the mental skills that, I'm picking, you probably draw on a daily basis.
For sure, mate. I think the biggest thing I took out of the Academy was it's your first step towards professionalism. So you sort of learn, that was my first introduction to strength conditioning, my first introduction to mental skills coaching, nutrition coaching, all things like that. And I never really considered much of that before. So I guess there's a great introduction to that, even like media training, things like that. And like if you're not doing that in an environment like the Academy, then I guess you're just getting chucked on the deep end when you're in your chosen sport. So I'm extremely grateful to have those opportunities to learn and develop before I actually hit those in the real world,
And I guess around that time, I think you made your Otago debut. You were 17. I mean, what was that like to be up in that sort of level as a 17-year-old?
Yeah, I didn't really understand at the time. I was just like, I got a phone call out of the blue, and like I said, like from Otago, I guess it didn't really seem even like an option that I was in the Otago, the Volts environment. Like those guys seemed far superior than I was, and I had no idea that I even competed to those guys. So to get that random phone call that day was incredible. I went into the environment thinking I was just here to see what it was like, and they were going to test me out. And then I guess I got chucked the ball, and the rest is history. I did okay that day and got a bit lucky. But yeah, I guess like I look at it these days, I see guys in Dunedin, they get to train with us quite regularly. There's a little bit of a disadvantage. I think they're Southland kids, so unfortunately, it's just like you can't do much about it. It's a geographical barrier, but I was lucky enough to overcome that, and yeah, I guess I'm on the fortunate side of it.
Yeah, and I mean these days, you're not just a Southlander playing for Otago, you're captaining Otago. How long did it take, I guess, before you felt comfortable in that environment?
It was a good couple of years until, well, I guess it's funny in cricket because you can be on top of the world one day. So, I did well in 2020 cricket there for a while, and in the 2020 environment, I felt pretty confident and comfortable, and I was actually valuable to the team. And then in 4-day cricket, I was struggling. I didn't really know what it was about. I didn't know what I was about, and I didn't really know how to play the game. So when I was sort of letting the team down a bit, then all of a sudden you feel not so comfortable again. But yeah, I guess, a few years gone by, and you have your ups and downs. After a few of them, I guess you figure out a little bit more about yourself, and you're a little bit more comfortable in your own skin. And that's when, I guess I really started to excel in the environment.
Absolutely. And you've obviously, you've done such a great job for Otago, and then, got that reward in December last year. Tell me a little bit about how you found out that you were going to be, you've been called into the New Zealand squad.
So there's whispers about, because there's these two series overlapped, right? So there's the West Indies were playing a test series, and then there's like a couple of days later, there's this Pakistan series started. So there was going to rest a couple of the test players. So I always knew there was a little bit of an opening, but I still had no idea whether I was actually in that opening. And then just one night at home, Gavin Larson gave me the call and said, "Mate, you're in the squad." And I was like, "Holy shit, it's happening!" Like, this is kind of the phone call you've been waiting for. Well, I guess professionally I've been playing for about 8 years now, so I guess it's been that long that I've been waiting for that phone call, and it's pretty surreal. My partner was here, and her mum was here, and there was a good bowl of red had that night, and a couple of tears from the girls, but no, it was a very special moment.
And then, did you have to keep it under your, did you let people know, or did you have to keep it secret, or?
I think the next day, I think it was getting announced in the media. So it wasn't for too long, less than 24 hours, but no, certainly on the phone to my family and things like that. They've shared the journey with me the whole time. Mum's taken me all them practices, and Dan's been there all those games and things like that. So you can't keep news like that from your own family.
Yeah, I think there were New Zealanders found out that there was a place called Lumsden. I'm not sure if many of them realised before that point.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that Lumsden got a lot of credit for in the news that time. It's a bit of a story that they love to push, and it's awesome because I do cherish my upbringing in Lumsden. I did leave when I was 7, so it's not like a huge part of my life. I did my high schooling and a lot of my primary schooling at Otago, but I'm still proud to be from a place like that in such a little town. I'm extremely proud to be from there.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about, I guess, going into camp with the Black Caps. Obviously, as you say, something you dreamed about for a long time. What was that like?
It was awesome. Obviously, I rocked up that first day playing. You stay at a little bit nicer hotel than you normally would for the Bolts, and everyone was awesome. So welcoming. The environment was great. There's no animosity. There's no I know you're competing with the guys and stuff. So because the big guys aren't there, there's a lot of us. Like the next sort of levels, like the Dougie Bracels and the Scott Kuglines and Blair Tickners, but we're all hanging out like best buddies. There's no animosity. There's friendly banter. It's not negative at all, which is awesome. And then you get even guys like the Southies and stuff are reaching out saying, "Congrats, mate!" Like, so for you, all those things. So everyone's very friendly. I think everyone just wants you to do well in that environment. Do what's best for the team, I guess. And if everyone's pushing everyone to be better, then I guess that's how they've got to where they're at the moment. I guess they're on a really hot streak for the last 3 or 4 years, I guess. So, and I can see why their environment, their culture seems like it's in top shape. So I'm looking forward to getting back into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're standing at the top of your run-up. You're at Eden Park. You're about to deliver your first ball for the Black Caps. The crowd are going nuts. What's going through your head?
Oh, mate, I couldn't even tell you. I don't know. I was running in, hoping the ball would land somewhere roughly where I wanted it to go. I actually remember I was having a little bit of trouble swinging the ball that time, I think. So I was just very in my head, sort of process focused, I guess, about my technique and running in hard and then hitting the deck hard. And I guess that was all I was thinking, which I guess it's in a way, it gave me clarity. You know, it's pretty clear in that regard, and I wasn't trying to do anything fancy. So yeah, and lucky the Buckies helped me out and had a few in the air. So that was also good.
Yeah, I mean that spell 4 for 33. If someone had offered you that before the game, you probably would have taken it.
Yeah, I think I was talking to my missus the night before, and I said if I go to Eden Park, you know, it's like bowler's graveyard. There's some of the shortest boundaries in world cricket. So I was like, I think if I'm going for less than 40, like I haven't made a mockery of myself, I'd be pretty happy. So to get the 4 for was awesome. I was pretty disappointed. I'd had a good first 3 overs and then let myself down at the death, and leaked a couple of sixes there at the bottom, which left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. But I guess people forget that when you as time goes by, because they just look back and say you got 4 for 33. So yeah, obviously now I'm over the moon about it, but I do remember being a little bit pissed off about that. But hopefully, just left a bit of want for the next one.
And what was it like going back to domestic cricket like that? And I understand, there was a bit of an injury and that sort of thing.
Injury came later in the year during the 4-day bit. The funny thing was I had a crap 2020 campaign after that. I was on top of the world. Actually, I didn't. The amazing thing about cricket is that you can. I didn't bowl my best that day. It was the day I played for New Zealand, and 2020 especially, you get a little bit of luck. Like I say, they hit someone in the air and it looks pretty good, but it wasn't my best display of bowling, and actually felt that a little bit going into the 2020 campaign that followed. I was a little bit off the mark. My Yorkers weren't landing, and I actually got hurt quite a bit and didn't take a lot of wickets during the 2020s for the vault. So I'm not sure. I don't think I put extra pressure on myself, but maybe in hindsight, there's a little bit of subconscious pressure that like I'm the one that has to lead the attack and perform a little bit more now that I've got that monkey on my back. And I might have been thinking a little bit about more opportunities for the Black Hats potentially. You can't help but hearing, you have one good performance, and then all of a sudden people are asking, well, when you're playing again, and when's your next opportunity coming? So every time I sort of getting hit for a 6 or a 4 for Otago, I'm thinking, shit, that doesn't help my cause. So there's a little bit of added pressure come in after that, and I was pretty frustrated at the fact that I wasn't able to, sort of get back to where I was from the seasons prior, and what got me into that position to begin with.
Obviously, the faith is there from the selectors, and they've named you for the big tour. You're heading over to England. There's lots to play for there. What are your thoughts about that tour? I'm
so excited. I actually went on tour for them in 2015 to England as just part of like a wider group. I guess the IPL was on at that time too, and there's a lot of players in there, and they needed a few guys to fill in for the tour game. So I got a bit of a taster there, and I went to the first couple of days of Lords, the Lords Test match, and that was unbelievable. Touring England, like I heard from all their guys, it's one of the best places to tour. You're on the coach, going to those amazing grounds. You got the Lords and the Edgbastons and things like that. So to be part of it properly, I'm actually in the squad now. It's pretty exciting. To show what I can do with the Duke ball is going to be pretty cool. I sort of had a wee play around already with it, and I've been absolutely loving it. So I'm really, really excited to get over there and get amongst it and see what I can do over in their conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's crazy when you think about it. I was looking at Wikipedia before. I mean, you're only 26. It's possibly it's the best bowling attack New Zealand cricket's ever had. You must really be looking forward to that chance to get on tour and to learn from some of these guys.
For sure, mate. I guess me and Southey are probably he's the most comparable style to me. So I'd love to see how he goes about his business. I haven't really had a lot to do with the guy, so I'm pretty excited to get in the there. I guess we've got these next couple of weeks in Lincoln before we head over there. So I really want to see what he does in his training, how he prepares for a tour and things like that, and actually see what he does with the ball. So I'm over the moon and can't wait to get amongst that.
And I know there's a lot of things that could happen and might happen, but what do you think? What would happen if you're at the top of your run up at Lords?
I haven't thought that far ahead, mate. I don't know. It'd be pretty amazing, pretty special. I've actually got some really good friends over there. I've played a couple club stints over there in Bristol, and I got some really good mates over there now. So I imagine they'd be there, and it'd be a pretty special moment. But look, I'm pretty realistic about my situation too. There's a very settled test side, and the guys that are there have done a hell of a job for the last however many years. So I'd have something pretty drastic would probably have to happen for that to happen. But nonetheless, I'm going to be trying my absolute hardest to get the opportunity and to put my best foot forward.
Oh, well, fantastic stuff, mate. Hey, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for joining us today. Southland is very proud of what you've been able to achieve and what you're going to carry on and achieve in your career. So go well.
No worries. Thanks for having me.